Happiness is a Warm Gun showcases John Lennon's exceptional vocals and lyrical genius that intricately weaves together four distinct song fragments, each contributing to the song's complex and captivating narrative. The title of the song was born from a seemingly bizarre inspiration. George Martin once presented John Lennon with a gun magazine which featured the phrase on the cover. John said this about the song's title: "George Martin showed me the cover of a magazine that said, 'Happiness is a warm gun.' I thought it was a fantastic, insane thing to say. A warm gun means you've just shot something." The initial part of Happiness is a Warm Gun emerged from a creative session between John Lennon and Derek Taylor, Apple's publicist. This brainstorming occurred during a psychedelic experience they shared with Neil Aspinall and Lennon's longtime friend from childhood, Pete Shotton. The song's first line draws from a phrase commonly used in Liverpool to express approval. Additionally, the intriguing reference to the velvet hand in the lyrics traces back to an unusual encounter Taylor and his wife had with a fetish enthusiast on the Isle of Man. Contrary to what some might think, the phrase about hands busy working overtime isn't a reference to masturbation. Instead, it alludes to an intriguing story Taylor came across about a person who employed artificial hands as part of a sophisticated method for stealing. And the lyrics mentioning a lizard on a window pane draws from Derek Taylor's memories during his time in Los Angeles. The line about the man in the crowd originated from a news article detailing the arrest of a Manchester City soccer fan who had cleverly placed mirrors in his shoes to look up women's skirts. Perhaps one of the most interesting and disgusting lines of the song is the soap impression of his wife part. Here's what Derek Taylor had to say about this part of the song. "I don't know where the soap impression of his wife came from, but the eating of something and then donating it to the National Trust came from a conversation we'd had about the horrors of walking in public spaces on Merseyside, where you were always coming across the evidence of people having crapped behind bushes and in old air raid shelters. So to donate what you've eaten to the National Trust was what would now be known as defecation on common land owned by the National Trust." When John put it all together, it created a series of layers of images. It was like a whole mess of color. The line "I need a fix 'cause I'm going down" was seen by many as a reference to heroin, but Lennon later denied this, saying, quote, "Happiness is a warm gun" was another one which was banned on the radio. They said it was about shooting up drugs. But they were advertising guns, and I thought it was so crazy that I made a song out of it. It wasn't about H at all. Mother Superior was a name John used for Yoko, and Jump the Gun was an innuendo. In the concluding section of the song, the title phrase is skillfully layered over a classic doo-wop chord progression accompanied by shifts in different time signatures. This resulted in the song needing 95 takes and 15 hours of studio time. Happiness is a Warm Gun is a surreal experience and remains one of the best songs on the Beatles' White Album.